Hello everyone. Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about 10 things Trump got right. So before starting this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more upcoming videos. Let's move forward. The President of the United States is the head of state and head of government of the United States, indirectly elected to a 4-year term by the American people through the Electoral College. Since the office was established in 1789, there have been 45 presidencies, while 44 men have served as president. The first, George Washington, and the last one was Donald Trump. Here, we will see 10 good things that Trump has done in his tenure. Number 10, stock market. The Trump rally, a trade war, and then a crippling pandemic, the 4 years since President Donald Trump's 2016 election victory have been a period like no other for the US stock market. Hours after Trump's unexpected win on November 8, 2016, expectations of massive tax cuts and financial deregulation kicked off a stock rally that saw the S&P 500 SPX surge 5% in a month. Wall Street continued its path higher through a trade war and impeachment, going on to new record highs following a deep slump caused by the coronavirus pandemic that continues to cripple the global economy. S&P 500 up over 50% since 2016. And also technology sector up 150% since the Trump's election victory. 9. Travel ban to control spread of coronavirus. Many countries have enacted travel restrictions in response to the spread of COVID-19 that originated in China. But President Trump announced a partial travel ban on China in late January, that went into effect on February 2, 2020. Trump's partial travel ban exempted American citizens, lawful permanent residents, and many others. Those who returned were supposed to be medically screened and quarantined if they showed symptoms. Those quarantines and medical screening were likely inadequate, as we saw after the government imposed travel restrictions on Europe and returning Americans overwhelmed the airports. At least 36 other countries also imposed travel restrictions on people coming from China at about the same time. It was a controversial but a smart call. Number 8, Small Business Association. He helped stimulate the small business economy during the pandemic, saving many businesses from going out of business. The president and his administration worked together to provide disaster loans and further support to small business owners affected by the coronavirus outbreak. The president signed legislation to support billions in low-interest disaster loans for small businesses economically impacted by the coronavirus. It was the largest small business economic response program in American history. Helped keep more than 5 million small businesses viable. Number 7, unemployment dropped. During first 3 years, unemployment rate dropped from 4.7 to 3.5%, and there were 6.6 million non-farm jobs were created in this tenure. It's true the economy was doing well prior to the pandemic, continuing a trend which began during the Obama administration, but there have been periods when it was much stronger. Number 6, poverty. Data released by the Census Bureau, that 2019 was a historic year for raising Americans' living standards. Real median household income reached a record high, and poverty reached a record low. Improvements in income and poverty were the largest in over 50 years. Minority groups, including Black, Hispanic and Asian Americans, experienced the largest gains. The US economy was then hit by the biggest economic contraction ever recorded as a result of the pandemic. It has since bounced back strongly, but hasn't regained all its losses. Also, poverty hit record low and official poverty rate fell 10.5% in 2019. And over 4 million people were lifted out of poverty between 2018 and 2019, which was 1.3% and also the largest reduction in the past 50 years. Number 5, waterways of the US policy. In the Donald Trump tenure, all the waterways were returned to landowners while the previous rules hindered farmers and ranchers. This helped Americans in promoting healthy agriculture. Under the new regulations, landowners and property developers will be able to pour pesticides, fertilizers and other pollutants directly into millions of miles of the nation's waterways for the first time in decades. Number 4, median household income. For nearly 10 years, the median household income was on a downward slope, but in 2015, income levels began to improve. That improvement continued into Trump's presidency, The New Yorker reports. Regardless of who deserves credit, it is true that median household income in the US has seen growth in recent years. In 2018, the median household income was $63,179, a 2.3% increase from 2016 when it was $61,779, according to EPI data. And also it is increased $4,400 in 2019, reaching all-time record. And increased $68,700, 6.8% increase, largest one-year increase on record. Since 2016, income increased over 9.7%. Minorities benefited a lot in Trump's tenure, like Black Americans, 7.9%. Hispanic Americans, 7.1%, and Asian Americans, 10.6%. Number 3, donated presidential salary. One topic that comes up is that Trump works for no money and donates the entirety of his presidential salary. A Facebook post from May that has amassed over 100,000 shares reads, "I want to thank Donald Trump for working like a dog for no money to save a country that doesn't appreciate his sacrifice. Thank you, Mr. President." Trump is not the first president to donate his salary. Former presidents John F. Kennedy and Herbert Hoover, both wealthy before they took office, donated all their earnings. Forbes reports Trump's net worth as of July 9 at $2.1 billion, making him the first president to be a billionaire. Presidents are required to be paid for their work, so to get around this, he took $1 each year from his paycheck and wrote checks from his $400,000 annual salaries to agencies like National Park Service, Department of Education, Department of Veteran Affairs, National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, and Small Business Administration. Number 2, First Step Act. Congress passed and President Donald Trump signed the First Step Act on December 21, 2018, to limit mandatory minimums for low-level drug offenses, provide retroactive sentence reductions to people imprisoned under the 100-to-1 crack cocaine disparity, and expand rehabilitation in federal prisons. Implementation of the new law has been mixed. This is made to help improve U.S. prison system and cut unnecessarily long federal sentences. And it was the first reform bill passed in a decade, where safety valve allows judge to impose shorter prison sentences than the mandatory minimum. After this act, people in prison for pre-2010 drug offenses immediately became eligible to apply for resentencing to a shorter term. Number 1, Space Force. When President Trump signed a $738 billion defense spending bill, he officially created the Space Force in December 20, 2019. It's the sixth branch of the U.S. Armed Services, and the first new military service since the Air Force was created in 1947. Space is the world's newest war-fighting domain, President Trump said during the signing ceremony. Amid grave threats to our national security, American superiority in space is absolutely vital. And we're leading, but we're not leading by enough. But very shortly we'll be leading by a lot. And about 16,000 Air Force active duty and civilian personnel are being assigned to the Space Force. What do you think of our list? And what do you think that who was actually good, Trump or Obama? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you believe in facts and enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, make sure to subscribe to our channel before you go.